Peace, family, and welcome to another episode of Sins of the Father. I am your host, Ani I Am, and I thank you for tapping in on this journey with me as we go to heal ourselves of negative past experiences and childhood negative past experiences as well. This journey is very important to me, and always before I start, I like to just give out some words of affirmation, which is like wisdom, strength, beauty, good character, harmony, balance, equality, justice, fortitude, temperance. And if you meditate on these words, look these words up, make sure you got the proper definition in the proper context, and utilize these words to give you guideposts sometimes, to make sure that what you're doing is in accordance with balance, is in accordance with reciprocity, is in accordance with beauty, wisdom, knowledge, understanding. Those are the things that we need to use to guide ourselves as we go through this journey, this life journey, which is made up of a host of so many things, a host of so many experiences, that we find a way to navigate this with enough principled discipline, enough principled morality, that we come out on the other side greater and be rewarded when we're accepted back to our ancestral home, back to our loved ones that we've lost, that have transitioned along the way, that we be received with honors, with love and gratitude for the work that we have done while we were here on this in this plane of existence. That your creator will reward you in whichever way you believe. And if it's a worthwhile journey, then I ask that you literally tap in this way, because this journey that we are on is the way of healing. We are on a healing journey, because I know that it's hard to enjoy life's pleasures when we have so many unhealed things going on. Like, I'll give you an example for me, right? I've been pretty successful. I've done a lot of things in my time, and I found that I was always searching. I was never fulfilled when I had, the cars, the this, the that, the travel, all of the luxury things that you can think of I've had. And I wasn't fulfilled. There was no joy in a whole encompassing my existence. It was just sporadic joys that I used money to get, right? Going on a trip, doing things with my children, just spending money frivolously sometimes just to have the people around me enjoy themselves. So in that, I realized, and this is not a instant revelation, this is something over time of just feeling myself, always feeling like, there was something missing, that I said, there must be more to this happiness thing than these, how do I call it? These simple pleasures, these fleeting pleasures that come and go. There must be more to it than that. And part of that understanding was that I wasn't internally happy, because there were so many things that I would revert back to in my mind. I would have unanswered questions about my father. I would have unanswered conversations with my father that I would say, I wish that I had the chance to speak to him. I would have a disconnect from my family lineage, my heritage. Who are my people? I would have a disconnect from my mom, because I didn't understand her abuse. I didn't understand her anger towards me. And I always wanted answers, but I couldn't get the answers because now they were transitioned already, right? So here it was, I had to indulge myself in all kind of, promiscuity and just carrying on, man. I had a great life, but I just, I'm sure that there's some people that I've left damaged, and I'm sure that I've damaged myself. And I've just realized that that can't be the way, because there is a way, and that can't be it. And I had to tell myself that, and I had to believe that. I had to believe that because it was the righteous thing to do, that there was something better for me and something bigger for me. And part of me doing this podcast is that thing that's bigger for me, because this is selfless act. I'm trying to heal myself, and at the same time, hopefully take somebody along this journey with me who needs to heal, who realizes that they're not truly seeing the greatest version of themselves. And that could be due to certain unresolved past negative experiences, or even back to childhood experiences, negative childhood experiences. And we have to be brave enough to touch the surface and maybe sometimes even dive a little deeper. We might have to go into the deep end to heal those things, because they are affecting everything that we do. They are affecting everything that we do. You know, as I was watching a program, matter of fact, actually, I was reading last night, matter of fact. This is before I was reading something last night. It was just talking about the connecting to the way of the spirit, and how we sometimes get connected to these external world. We get connected to what's happening to us daily and forget about there's a whole realm, a whole spiritual realm that our heart and mind is connected to. And that is the part that heals us and takes us out of the daily consumption of external activities to cover up or, you know, give us a temporary comfort. And I know that for me, I want my existence to mean more. I want my existence to mean more. And it can, and it does mean more if we serve others. It does mean more if we become the greatest version of ourselves, and then we give that to the world. We give that to our children. We give that to our people. It can mean more if we can identify things that we may have been doing or are doing that are hurting other people, that we've been ignoring. Then there's another side of life that a lot of us haven't experienced, myself included. There's a lot of living to be done. You know, a lot of living to be done. You know, and I just want, you know, for my family that's a little bit, you know, older and on my side of the fence, people are living a lot longer. If you live to 90, what do you want your creator to say when you walk up to the gate? Whatever you believe, if he meets you at the water, if he meets you at the gate, the pearly gates, wherever he meets you at, wherever your ancestors meet you at when you transition, what do you want them to say about you in your life? What do you want to be recorded about you? What do you want your great-grandchildren to say about you? That's going to depend on how you leave the people that you leave behind. When you transition, how you affected those people that you were around is going to determine how those people are going to talk about you in perpetuity. Are they going to sing songs about you? You know? Are they going to have good memories about you? Or are they going to call that goddamn bastard? Excuse my language. But are they going to talk about you that way? Are they going to say, I wish he did this, I wish, and not have any reverence for the fact that you were here on this planet for X, Y, and Z amount of time? Are they not going to have reverence for that? Are they? Only you know the answer. And only you know the answer because only you have done the work. Only you have spent the time with your family. Only you have given the proper instruction to your children, to your nieces, to your nephews, to show them the way, the path, the principled path forward. Now, yeah, they may get it from some other people, but what do you want your legacy to be? If your legacy is just about leaving them some money, they might blow that. You know, I'm just being honest with you. They may blow that. You leave them $100,000, $200,000, they may blow that. Or they just buy a house and now that's it. They ain't got no, you know, they back to regular living, you know? If that's what your legacy is, if that's the summation of your legacy, then you need to keep tapping in. Do not cut this off. Tap in, because there's more to it than that. You have to leave them with a blueprint for living a principled life. You have to leave them with a blueprint for being kind and humble and serving others. You have to leave them with a blueprint, because they're not going to get that from everybody, and they're not going to take it and receive it the same way they will receive it from you. But now, what's blocking you from doing that? What's blocking you from teaching them that lesson? And this is where we come back to, what does it have to do with the life you've lived and the experiences that you have had? What does this have to do with it? It has everything to do with it. Because you are nothing more than the sum total of your experiences and how you perceive them. That's what you're made of. Your whole psyche is made of experiences you have had with your mother, your father, your friends, the water, everything that you have experienced in your life makes you who you are today. So if you have had negative childhood experiences that affect you at such a granular level, that affect how your brain connects and how your brain begins to formulate answers and understandings, then you have an upward battle. Nothing to be scared of. Everything to be grateful for. It's everything to be grateful for, that you have the chance to utilize these experiences to make someone else stronger. You have the chance to make someone else's life better by just your experiences and how you share them. Because you can share them negatively. You can share your experiences negatively. Yeah, do this, do that, blah, 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 blah. Or you can share them with kindness and love, and with repentativeness, right? And with a sense of morality, to acknowledging the dysfunctionality of your behavior, your choices. No excuses. There's no excuses, man. There's no excuses, family. There's no excuses. I can't make no excuses for the stuff I've done. I can't. I could try. I have tried, and none of it has worked. None of it has worked. The only pleasure that I get, that I could really sit here and say I get, is the pleasure of giving. Like, that's a real pleasure. It don't cost me a dime. Sometimes it costs me a dime. You know. Sometimes I got to spend some money to create pleasure and create experiences for my family. You know, when we travel, I have to create that for them, for my children, because I want them to experience other cultures and other languages. But that's still, I'm creating experiences. That's what's more valuable to me. If I could have went on that trip for free, I would have done the same trip. Or if I had to pay $1 million to go on that trip, I would have probably paid the same amount if I had it to pay it. Because it's that important to me that I give them these experiences to change their mind. Like, I'm to give you an example, when I used to take my children away, we always used to go away on Christmas, and we still do. So we try to travel for Christmas. I'll go and I will give them very little money and take them to a market in this foreign country. And I'll say, hey, with that little bit of money, you have to get presents for everybody. Me, your mother, your sisters, your brothers, everybody. Everybody needs to get a gift. And what do you want, Daddy? I don't want nothing but love. Just love me. Just love me and appreciate me. That's it. So that's what I'm telling you. This is what I've told them. Just love me. Just love me. That's it. Just love each other. That's my gift. My gift, if I see you guys loving each other, then that's my gift. That's all I need. That's all I need. And in that experience, I've watched them exposed to enlightened situations, right? If that's the best way to say it. I've watched them be exposed and their character come out, because now I watch them going to pick out things for their brothers and sisters with this little bit of money. I'm not talking about, I'm not giving them $200 or nothing like that. I might give them $25 in one of them little markets. You know, it look like a bunch because, the money looks, look like they're rich or something, right? But they go around and they go in the market and we walk around and they pick out little things that they think the other person's gonna like. So not only are they thinking about others, but they're serving others. They're giving back to others. And then they find joy in that. And when they give their presents to their brothers and sisters, they're happy. Hey, look what I got you. And I think there's such beauty in that. There's such beauty in that. And that's what I want to be able to facilitate for my family. And I know that everybody else does to a certain degree. Like, you don't have to take my route. Like, you don't have to take them on vacation for Christmas. You don't have to do all that. That's not necessary. Can you tell them to write a birthday card instead of buying one from the store? Think in your own words. Right now, we got ChatGPT, AI. Listen, make a card, design a card, give them a task. Design a card, because giving them the appreciation of relationships, giving them the appreciation is probably something a lot of us didn't have. Because that generation that came before us, they weren't as concerned about these things as I hope that we are. They weren't. They were living in this, man. A beating was supposed to be given. You were supposed to whip your child. You were supposed to whip your child. What was it? I believe it said something about spare the rod, spare the child. Meaning, if you didn't beat them, then you would spare them. You would, by beating them, you spared them from the suffering and the sins and the transgressions that they would commit if you didn't beat them, if you didn't make them obedient to your will. That's how I always took it. Now, if somebody else has a different interpretation, please, I would love to talk about it. You know, I would love to put it in the comments, you know, because that's something that I was under the impression of, which is why I never beat my children. I never beat them, because I said to myself, I'm gonna tap in up here. I'm gonna tap in here. So it's something they never forget. But now I will say I was very, very hard on my first children because I didn't understand nothing. I didn't understand that I was transposing my aggression towards my fear of trials and tribulations and struggles onto my children. I was expressing my anger from my parents to my children because my mother was aggressive towards me. And I know that I passed that on. I know that my aggression was real to them. Now, I know because they told me, and I don't want to say like I had a seance or something. I got this information, you know, or I had some grand epiphany. Like I said, I'm not trying to pretend anything here. This is just the reality. My sons have told me, hey, you was tough. You was overbearing. Yeah, your message, we knew you loved us, but the way you had to deliver it, you was like a monster sometimes. Foaming at the mouth, yelling. But that's the only way I knew how to get things across, because that's the only way my parents showed me. And I don't say my parents, let me take that back. My father didn't show me because he didn't show me nothing really. And I don't say that with no disrespect. You know, I accept our journey now, me and my father. But my mother, that's what she showed me. She showed me. I mean, there's specific things that I remember my mother saying to me that was so hurtful that I carry with me to today. To today, as a grown man, I still carry with me. I still try to understand and figure it out. And I'm sure that I've put that on my relationships with the women that I've been in relationships with. I'm sure I've put that energy on them because I was dealing with my mother to a degree. You dig what I'm saying? Like, you know, they always say boys go for their mother and daughters go for their father. That's who they marry. They marry their mother, they marry their father. In the sense, they get somebody that's just like them. And then they treat them in ways that they thought were acceptable to them. I had to go through it. This is what I thought was good, you know? So you find a lot of domestic abuse, right? Because they were beaten. The kids were beaten. 9 times out of 10, if you wasn't beaten, you're not running around beating your wife. And 9 times out of 10, if you wasn't running around beating your father wasn't beating you, you're not running around trying to slap your boyfriend and spit in his face and call him all kind of names and do all kind of degrading nonsense to him. All this stuff you see on, you know, TV, you know, throwing drinks in people's face for nothing, and you know, that's a bunch of crap. You know, I would never think. I know that nobody really, you know, was, you know, most of us probably wasn't treated that way. And again, we know that is wrong. We know that it's wrong. Even when we go home, we say to ourselves, "This is whack." Me barking and screaming and yelling, that was whack. I shouldn't have did that. That was a better way for me to carry myself. But then why didn't you do it in the moment? Because you wonder why you're triggered. In that moment, in that instance, you have never gotten and worked on the tools to be able to stop yourself in that moment and say, nah, wait, that's not it. It's a better way. That's a better way for me to handle this. Because you were reacting in the moment because that's how you protected yourself. That's what you knew. And until we look at that and really take true introspection on what it is that we have endured, then we're going to keep repeating that. And you know who's going to suffer? That next generation. The next generation is already up against hellish pressures, man. Think about it. You know what they're up against? This, you know, all of these different social media things, this music, everything. They're up against their own battles. If we're going to add to it, or we're going to take away from it, are we going to give them a counterbalance to the things they got to go through? Are we going to give them a counterbalance? Are we going to give them tools to protect themselves from all of these demons, all of these negative experiences, all of these negative peer pressure experiences? Are we going to give them the tools to protect themselves? I think we owe it to them, if you ask me. And then we owe it to our great-grandchildren and our great-great-grandchildren. I always say, I pray that my picture is on the wall of my great-great-great-grandchildren. That they say, yo, that man right there is the reason why we are where we are. Or he has something to do with it. And I don't need all of the accolades, but I want to be recognized. Acknowledgement is the cornerstone of human existence. Everybody wants to be acknowledged for something. I'm going to tell you that right now. The gangster wants to be acknowledged for being the baddest gangster. The president wants to be acknowledged for his good works before he gets out of office. The leader of a company, the CEO, wants to be acknowledged for his contributions to the company's success. That guy that pulls up on that girl wants to be acknowledged because he looks fly and because he took her to a great dinner, they had a great time. Every single person wants to be acknowledged. But what do you want to be acknowledged for? You can want to just be acknowledged for mediocre things, or just for external things. Like, you want to be acknowledged because you dress, your drip is crazy. You want to be acknowledged for that, and that's cool. But that's not where I would want to stop. I wouldn't want to stop at just my drip being, that's not it. Not for me, not when you grow and you understand what you're truly connected to. When you're connected to humanity, when you're connected to people, when you're connected to a life that's gonna live on way beyond you, you know that you got a bigger purpose. You got a bigger purpose. And it starts with the healing. It starts with the healing. So, as always, I say, as we on this journey, I ask you to please tap in. Let me know if there's some things that I could research that would help anybody. I don't care if it's one person. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do the research, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to have a discussion about it. In the next coming weeks, I plan on having some guests on so the dialogue could be a little bit different, because I really want to hear other people's experience as well. And then I could ask questions that may actually open up new dialogue. It may open up opportunities for other people to heal and get some answers from things that I can't answer, because I don't have all the answers. I don't want to pretend to have all the answers. I don't have all the answers, but I have access to answers, to most answers, because right now we're in the information age. It's the age of information. There's nothing we can't find out. Everybody's not going to do the research. I'm willing to do it for us. I'm willing to do it for us. If you tell me what research I need, I'm willing to do it. I'm willing to look into it as much as I can. I may not get to it next week. I may not get to it tomorrow, but I'll get to it because I believe that it's valuable. And if it helps you in any way, then that's my acknowledgement. That's my acknowledgement. My acknowledgement is when you guys subscribe and like and share. That's an acknowledgement for me. That helps me to feel like I know that what I'm doing is in service to a greater good. It's not just about me. It's really not. It's not just about me. It's about us. It's about moving and having a better generation, a generation that's prepared to live ethically and morally, with integrity. With moral aptitude. We want this next generation to be better than us, right? I would hope that everybody wants their next generation, their progeny, to be better than them. And the only way they do that is by you giving them the tools to be better than you are. And the tools are you. You are the tool. You are the tool. But you got to sharpen yourself. You got to sharpen yourself so that your tool becomes effective. You got to sharpen yourself. And hopefully on this journey, this is what we're going to do. So again, provide yourself with the information, the wisdom, and the knowledge and the understanding to be able to give to the next generation these tools, this information and then not only that, to act better so that you don't mistakenly give them the negative side of it. Again, family, I appreciate you for tapping in. I want to send love to every single one of us out there that are searching for answers. I want to send a prayer out for everybody that's searching for healing to please tap in. Anybody you know that can tap in, tap in. Anybody you know that might need this information, I ask you to please share this with them. I ask you to like, share, subscribe. Help me grow this message. Help me put this message out enough that enough people get healed. That even if we stop somebody from hurting another person, let's do it. Let's do it together. Because we could do it. We got that power. Again, I'm your host, Ani I Am. I thank you for tapping into another episode of Sins of the Father. You can check us out on Instagram as well, at Sins of the Father. And we're going to start moving to other platforms. And like I said, we're going to get some guests on here, some therapists on here really soon, and start having some more dynamic conversations to help heal the family. Peace, love, and healing. Peace, family.